What about me and you, brothers and sisters? Always, brothers and sisters, say astaghfirullah. In this day of Friday and Jumu'ah, what is the sunnah to do in Jumu'ah Friday? Or Thursday night? Is to make salah on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. To make salah on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam every Friday and the eve of the Friday night, Thursday night. Sahaba asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "O Rasulullah, how do we make salah on you?" So he says, say the salah al-Ibrahimiyyah, just like what we do in salah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad, kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad, kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. This is how we praise the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Or you can add Sayyidina. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, but not in the salah. Prophet ﷺ said, "La tusayyiduni fi salah." Do not say Sayyidina in the salah. So only Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad, and the rest, as you know, when we do in the salah. Well, we cannot forget that Allah is the all merciful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful. Prophet ﷺ said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created the mercy, He divided it into 100 types. So one type of mercy, Prophet ﷺ said, is being shared in this dunya. Since Allah has created mankind until the last day of the judgment. One type of mercy. But in the day of the judgment, Prophet ﷺ said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the rest of the 99, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will use on His servants in that day. So think about it. One type of mercy, rahmah, wahid, one rahmah, is being shared amongst all the mankind since Allah created Adam until the last day. But 99, it will be shared that day with the will of Allah amongst His servants. Since Adam alayhi salam is the last person walking on this earth. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Nuqayyid lahu shaytana," that this shaitan will be controlling this mankind. What is the first thing the shaitan wants to do to the servant of Allah? The first thing the shaitan wants to do before sinning is you committing shirk. Is committing the shirk. That's what the shaitan wants to do. The people who are ignorant in the deen of Allah, the people who don't know the sunnah of Rasulullah, the people who don't understand the meaning of the tawheed, the shaitan takes them away step by step. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Do not follow the footsteps of the shaitan. As the scholars say, the shaitan has a madhab. The shaitan has a school of methodology that he uses on the servants of Allah so he can take them astray. And once after taking them astray, the dalala is using the bid'ah. That's what the shaitan wants to do. He wants the people to use the bid'ah, the innovations in the deen of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. Our deen is complete. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, today I completed your deen. We cannot add anything else in the deen of Allah. The deen is already completed. The teachings of the Prophet ﷺ are already written and said in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that the Sahaba has taught us, the Tabi'een has taught us, amongst the authentic chain of hadith, obviously. But when we use things that the Prophet ﷺ never did, or the Sahaba never did, what did the Prophet ﷺ say? In the hadith of Aisha, من أحدث في أمرنا هذا ما ليس منه فهو رد. Or another narration of Sahih Muslim, من عمل عملا ليس عليه أمرنا فهو رد. Whoever does something in this matter that we've never done, it will be rejected. And that's what the shaitan wants. One of the tabi'een, he sneezed. Or Ibn Umar sneezed. Ibn Umar, the son of Umar, the pious servant of Allah, wanted to go in the battle of Badr, the first one. He was 15 years old. And he tried to go higher so he can be taller, so the Prophet ﷺ will allow him to participate in the battle. He was 15, the son of Umar, Abdullah. He was a smart man. When the Prophet ﷺ was hanging out with the Sahaba, sitting giving a lecture, and he told the Sahaba, can you tell me a tree Can you tell me a tree that will be like the believer? There is a tree, its example, it's like the example of the believer, the mu'min. The Sahaba didn't know the tree. But Ibn Umar, he was young. He was in his teens and he said, I knew it's gonna be I knew it was gonna be the palm tree, the nakhla. When the Sahaba spread out, went home, Ibn Umar went to his father, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, the second most beloved man to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And his daughter, she's the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Hafsa. So he said, oh dad or father, I knew it was going to be a nakhla, the palm tree. So Omar, he got upset. And he said, oh son, why didn't you mention it in front of the Prophet ﷺ so I can be proud of you? He said, oh father, I was too shy. I'm too young. And you guys are way older than me. As a respect to you and the Messenger of Allah, I couldn't say it. Look at the Muslim manners that the Sahaba had, or the sons of the Sahaba. He couldn't say it because his father didn't know it. As a respect to his father, he didn't want to answer. Even though Umar radiallahu anhu said, I want you to say it. So I will be proud of you because I'm your dad, because I'm your father. And Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he used to love the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he used to make wudu, and he made sure that the water enters his eyes. When he got older, he got blind. He used to tell people that do the mess on the socks and the khuf because it's the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that many Muslims don't practice nowadays. When you wear your socks, wipe on them. You don't have to take your socks and make wudu again. It's the sunnah of Rasulullah. You get more deeds actually than washing your feet. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did it. You pray with your shoes on. Because it's the sunnah of Rasulullah. The Muslims don't know, many Muslims don't know that. Prophet ﷺ was traveling, or even in Medina, and he was making wudu. The hadith of Hudayfa is in Sahih. So Hudayfa wanted to take his shoes. He said, Prophet, no, leave them. Leave my shoes on, I will wipe on them, because I wore them already in wudu. And he prayed with his shoes on, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It is the sunnah. Obviously, we cannot do it here in the masjid because of the carpet and the respect of the rugs and stuff like that. But it's the sunnah to pray with our shoes on. It's the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Many types of sunnah Muslims don't know. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "بدأ الدين غريبا وسيعود غريبا كما كان فطوبى للغرباء." The deen started strange. The deen of Islam started very strange. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "It will come back again, strange." Even amongst Muslims. People who are practicing the sunnah of Rasulullah and other Muslims think they are strange. But these people studied the sunnah of Rasulullah, they studied the hadith, they know more than you. And they know how to practice it and when to practice it. فَطُوبَى لِلْغُرَبَاءِ Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say, طُوبَى لِلْغُرَبَاءِ. طُوبَى, a tree in heaven, in Jannah, that its shade is 100 years. For who? For the strangers. The ulama say those strangers are the ones who practice the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those are the ghuraba, the strangers. When Ibn Umar sneezed, and he said, Alhamdulillah, or the other man sneezed, he said, Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. So he added wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's a good thing. Ibn Umar said, why did you add a salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah? He said, that's a bid'ah, do not add it. Because the Prophet ﷺ never added. What did the Prophet ﷺ teach us when we sneeze? You sneeze and you say, Alhamdulillah, nothing else. Ibn Umar yelled at him and said, do not add anything. The Prophet ﷺ never did. Umar radiallahu anhu also was very harsh on the people who are adding things in the deen of Allah, who are trying to cause fitnah with the Quran of Allah. When Umar was the leader, he was in Medina. And Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, he sent him a letter. There is a man in Iraq that is trying to cause fitnah and asking people, what does it mean, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا? And it's known to the Arabs that they understood the Arabic language. They understood 99% of the Quran because it was Arab in their language. What does it mean, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا? The horses. So Omar said, send him to me. Send this man to me. And as we know, Umar was very harsh when it comes to the Quran and Sunnah of Rasulullah, to the truth. He was truthful. May Allah be pleased with him and all the Sahaba. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to gather us with them in the Jannah. Ameen. The man came to Umar. And Umar said, and asked him. Umar never judged anybody until he faced him face to face. When Umar hears something, he doesn't immediately apply or make a hukm or make a judgment until he sees the person face to face. That's how Muslims should be. When somebody tells you news or something, call the person and say, make sure, did you say this about me? Or face him. Umar radiallahu anhu used to say, لَيْسَ الْخَبَرُ كَالْمُعَايَنَةِ. The khabar, when you hear the news, it's not like someone facing him face to face. So Umar brought him all the way from Iraq. And he asked him and said, are you the one who's trying to cause fitna on the book of Allah? Asking what does it mean, and every Arab knows what does it mean. He said, oh yes, me. O leader of the believer. May Allah be pleased with him. Omar, he told them, bring me the lash. And he gave him 100 lash in his back. Until his back turned red. He said, go, come back the following day. The man left. Came back the second day, he gave another 100 lash. In front of the Sahaba and they were watching. The third day, he said it again. And he said, oh, leader of the believer, just end my life and don't do this to me. He said, are you going to cause fitna in the book of Allah? He said, no, I will never do that, oh, leader of the believer. And he never did. There is a time when the leader of the believer has the right, scholars say, has the right to punish someone who is causing fitna among the Muslims, or causing innovations. How our pious predecessors used to deal with the people of bid'ah. They were not too easy on them. The people of bid'ah are trying to cause innovations. They are fighting the sunnah of Rasulullah. You tell them this is the right way. They tell you, no, this is the right way. Which is the way of the shaitan. When we worship Allah with ilm. Muhammad ibn Sirin, rahimahullah, used to say, إِنَّ هَذَا الدِّينَ عِلْمٌ فَتَعَلَّمُوا عَمَّنْ تَأْخُذُوا دِينَكُمْ. This deen is knowledge. So know where you seek your knowledge from. Not from anyone who doesn't know what he's talking about. From the one who knows the Quran, the authentic sunnah of Rasulullah. That's the one, and the correct aqidah. The aqidah of Umar, the aqidah of Abu Bakr, the aqidah of Uthman, the aqidah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Those are the people who you learn your deen from. Not from anybody on YouTube who has a PhD, is a scholar. No. Wallah, I swear this minbar that the people who learn the Quran, the Sunnah in the masjid, among the scholars, the pious scholars, 4 years, they are better than PhDs. Wallahi, I swear in this minbar. I can name all of them that I know and I listen to every day, mashallah. Because they know the correct aqidah of our predecessors. This deen is knowledge. It's not this person say or that person say or what I think. There is no such thing as this is what I think or this is my soul is telling me. Allah is saying in the Quran, إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ. The nafs will lead you to do the bad things. When you say this is what I think, why? Because this is what Allah said in the Quran, this is what the Prophet ﷺ said in the Hadith. Then I will listen to you. There is no such thing, this is what I think or this is what I believe. Speaking without knowledge. Brothers, please come forward, please. Come forward. Jazakallah. Be aware, brothers and sisters. Be aware that the shaitan is our #1 enemy. With a big neon sign on his head. Saying, watch out. I want to mislead you to hellfire. Obviously that's the goal of the shaitan. The only goal of the shaitan is to mislead and take as many believers as you can with him to hellfire. That's what the shaitan wants. And what the #1 shaitan wants is the division and the separation of the believers and the Muslims. And to spread hatred in their hearts. In the authentic hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, Rasulullah ﷺ said the story about how the shaitan and his